This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Wednesday, November the 3rd. Race number 7 at Del Mar. We kick off Breeders' Cup week with the Seashell Stakes. Let's take a look at this field. Fillies and mares going a 2-turn mile. $100,000 is the purse. You can download free Formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page, DRF.com. Access them, handicap along with us. And Mike, the number 2, Moonlight D'Oro, was emerging as one of the best 3-year-old fillies in the country before a knee chip knocked her to the sidelines. She makes her first start off a 270-day layoff on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's in a lot of ways, probably the key to the race. She's the morning line favorite. Looked really good the last time we saw her, Dan, but she does have the layoff to overcome here. We'll see how fit she is on the way back.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector. The number 6, Living My Best Life, should be able to make the lead. This is a stretch-out sprinter who just went gate to wire in a little stakes race at Los Alamitos. She is plenty fast. Really, the question for her is the distance. She has a sprint pedigree.
Yeah, it's a very big question for her. She's pretty talented, and she does have a lot of early speed. I do expect her to be out in front early in this race, and we'll see how far she can take them.
Now, those two fillies are relatively lightly raced. The number 1, Clock Strikes 12, who we see at the back of the Timeform US Pace Projector. This is a 7-time winner and a rather hearty mare on all 3 surfaces. Let's watch her last race. A 2 other than over the Golden Gate to Pita going a mile. We see her in last. That's her running style. She's going to swing to the far, far outside out of the picture, and she'll come into the picture late, running 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, she makes up a little bit of ground in here. I didn't think she ran, that great in this race. The winner, who's to her inside there, the number 6, was also back off the pace in here, and just out finishes this filly at the end. I don't know. I thought she ran okay. I do realize that there is some speed in here, Dan. I think the race could set up for her, and she does have a couple of races on the main track last winter that would give her some kind of a chance in here if the race sets up the right way. We'll see. She's going to be, if she was a good price, I wouldn't argue against her too hard, but I do think she's in pretty tough here.
I was super impressed with Moonlight D'Oro's last 2 starts. Dick Mandela stretched her out around 2 turns, and the Medaglia D'Oro filly responded. First with a maiden victory, then this score in the Grade 3 Las Virginas Stakes. We watch it, and she just gets to the outside here, and she is on her way once she makes the lead. And this was a field of 3-year-old fillies in Southern California that didn't pan out, but at the time, they were okay. Mraz would come back to run second to the Santa Isabel with an 86 buyer. There was a lot of potential from this effort from Moonlight D'Oro. It was a shame she had to miss so much time.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that she, hasn't been able to stay on. But I'm with you. I thought her last 2 races were really good. Obviously, she has all the upside in the field, Dan. And, based on those 2 races at the mile distance, she might not even have to improve to beat this field. She just has to come back as good as she was. And that's a big question. Obviously, they're going to ask her to take a short price on this horse, and maybe she'll need a race off the bench. But if she doesn't, she's going to be really tough in here.
Paige Ann, the number 3, has hit the board in her last 7 starts. She's very consistent, but that's kind of been the story of her career. 12 of 14 on the board. Half of those on the board finishes when she was 3rd, as in this race, the Dark Mirage at Los Alamitos last time out. And Paige Ann, we see on the outside turning into the stretch. Just an even performance for her. She's solid. She runs buyers in the low to mid 80s. She might have to do a little bit better here, but she has nice tactical speed.
Yeah, she does. She can get a good trip in this race. I like her as a horse. I think she's very game. She tries really hard in all of her races. You do kind of already know what she is. I don't think you're going to, see her taking a huge step forward in this race, Dan, but maybe she falls into a trip, catches the 2 off the layoff here, not running her best race, and pulls off what would be a mild upset.
Some minor class relief for the 4 Lisette, who was a maiden winner at a mile at Del Mar 2 starts back and won fairly easily that day. She was then thrown to the Wolves in the Grade 3 Torrey Pine, a race that produced 3 next out winners, including Private Mission, who came back to win the Zenyatta with a 96 buyer. She was overmatched in that race.
Yeah, that was a good field. She didn't run well in there, but that was a good field. I realized that her race 2 back when she broke her maiden was a step in the right direction. But, talk about a soft trip up on a pretty easy pace. This race isn't going to be run like that, Dan, and she's one of the ones who really has to take a step forward.
A horse with the potential to push Living My Best Life up front is another stretch out sprinter. And that's our next filly, the number 5, Miss Phiah, 5-year-old mare, who just won this race at Los Alamitos. First started off a short layoff in late September, going 6 furlongs. And I thought this was just a solid performance. She stayed up close to the pace. She was very game, but she traveled comfortably into upper stretch. And she's going to have to improve, but she has run races earlier this year, a couple of 90 buyers that would put her in the mix. Second off the layoff for David Hoffman's.
Yeah, she does have a couple of races that would give her a real chance. And I like this race only because early on anyway, she just, sat off the pace a little bit, which hadn't been the case in her prior 3 starts where they really used her speed and got her involved, either setting or contesting the pace. She sat a little bit last time. I think it was a pretty weak field, but she was also off the layoff there. And I think maybe she ran a little bit better than the 79 buyer suggests.
And here's the expected pace setter, Living My Best Life, winning the Lucky Spell Stakes at Los Alamitos, going 3/4 of a mile. She just got out to a clear lead. And as you can see, the race is over at the quarter pole. She's ridden very confidently at this juncture. She goes on to score with a career best 88 buyer speed figure. Not only does she have to jump up significantly in distance, she has to jump up significantly in class. So it's all about whether she can get an easy lead and really back down the pace. You look at this pedigree, her sire, the Big Beast, was a sprinter, and a lot of sprint in the female family.
Yeah, you have to be concerned about distance with her for sure. She's talented, though. Her last 2 races are both good. She got absolutely loose when she won last time, and nobody really challenged her. The race 2 back, I was a little more concerned about that, Dan, because she got clear going 6.5, and you could just tell she wasn't going to hold on the last 1/8 of a mile or so. I don't know. I do think she's talented, but it's not like there's no other pace in this race. So I just didn't think it was going to be that easy for her to clear off, back down the fractions, and then hold on at the end.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Seashell. I think if Moonlight Dioro comes back, anything what she was, she's probably going to win. The layoff is a little bit of a concern. I do think Living My Best Life is faster than the 5. I think she's going to be able to get to the lead, and we'll see if she can just slow him down and sprint on home. But from a price perspective, 5-2 is no bargain for a filly like her doing something for the first time. So I'd need her to drift a bit and Moonlight Dioro to take more money. For you, Moonlight Dioro, and hopefully on to bigger and better.
Yeah, that's what I hope. I mean, it does feel like the 2 and the 6 are just the most talented horses in the race. So I'd, be happy just to sort of lean on them. I'm not going to advocate for Moonlight Dioro too much at a really short price. I just think she might be the best horse, Dan.
2563 for Mike, 6253 for me. It's the Wednesday race of the day. We kick off Breeders' Cup week at Del Mar with the Seashell on Wednesday. Good luck.